Hello everyone, welcome back to Jobber Radio Prediction League Frontline. JRPL Frontline, it's you know it by this point. It's something that I say the very long name of every time because that's just how I seem to do it. It is JRPL Frontline. It is the week of Clash of Champions. I am one of those champions. As you can see, the Ultraviolent Championship is right here behind me. I am your co-host Scott. With me, though, is the man who has the championship, the JRPL World Heavyweight Champion. We don't have to have heavyweight in it, it's just the world champion. But you know what I mean. It's the big champion, the world champion, the biggest, highest ranking belt we have. And yes, I'm hyping it up for you because it's also the longest reigning of any champion, let alone the world champion. He's had it since December. It is the world champion, BeerMeJesus. How are you today, champ?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself, champ?
Pretty good, pretty good. I've had my belt since, the spring. It's fall now, technically, but you've had yours since winter, and winter is, a few months away again.
I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah, but yeah, Clash of Champions is an interesting time because you are defending your championship. The championship showcase match, or I forget what we actually called it. We'll see there when we get there, but the championship, the championship showcase match has 4 men, 3 champions, 4 champions, you'll see, against each other in a tag match, you'll see. But then there's also the Road Warrior title, and yes, the world title is being defended. We will go through that card and predict that in a little bit. But what we wanted to do is also talk about the fact that it's JRPL 100. It's the 100th show, hashtag JRPL 100. Of course, follow us here on Jobber Radio, JRPL Official, Jobber Radio on Twitter. JRPL Official on Twitter is this one. Jobber Radio Official on YouTube. I'm getting these completely wrong, but if you search Jobber Radio, you'll get the podcast and you'll get us. It's all on there. But it is the 100th show, and it's Clash of Champions. It's the biggest event, like I said. We'll get there, but to look back on that, we're going to look at the first ever show, JRPL 1. We didn't number them or anything, but it was the original show. It was a takeover, and by virtue
I lost on that card.
You did. By virtue of selecting that card instead of WrestleMania, Bomber wanted to build toward WrestleMania, and fortuitous of that, we are now here at Clash of Champions with the 100th, and it all works out in the end. So
I'm glad he did that.
It should be interesting, and I like the idea. He didn't want to start with WrestleMania because it's better to build toward the first Mania, and infinite wisdom prevails there. That was the perfect thing to do. But we're going to go through there. We're going to go through the site, though, because Clash of Champions, like I said, is show 100. We want people to be involved. So, by all means, jobberradio.com is the site you see here. You go there, you sign up. There's information under Prediction League, which you'll see right here. There's information about signing up, tutorials, everything about how to do it. We've also talked about it at length on prior episodes of Frontline. Basically, go sign up. You'll be in the league. If you put in predictions when the page shows up, for this one it'll be Friday after SmackDown. You'll be able to put in predictions. If you put in predictions, you're on the card. You'll be on the kickoff if you're a newbie, but over time you'll get on there. You'll get into storylines and stuff, and just pitch ideas, throw ideas out. We'll try stuff. We'll see what happens. It's all good fun. It's awesome stuff. Go to the site and do it. When you are there, I'm going to promote something just briefly. You will also see stuff like Jonathan C.T. Martin of the C.T. Slide fame, and that's not a good thing. He's written another New Japan article, G1 Climax 30 Night 1 review. That kind of stuff is on our site as well as the podcast and the video stuff, but there is also the event's history. So if you want to see what we're talking about when BeerMe talk about how awesome JJ Rocky's been, or when I mentioned BeerMeJesus winning at TLC 2019, that's here. You can see them all here. All Out, Payback, SummerSlam, all the way back. And I mean all the way back, because the original event is right there, JRPL TakeOver Chicago 2017. The first ever event, BeerMe. So when this all started with the JRPL, I know Bomber was talking about it on the podcast to Lee, Matt, Rab, Peanut, and I, about putting in predictions. And we're like, sure, okay, I'll predict. I've done that with some UFC stuff before, predicting a winner and things like that, and submission or whatnot. But I didn't really understand what this was, but I supported it and jumped in. And when I saw the write-up that you'll see here, and the fact that there's actual storylines and stuff like that, it's like, okay, this is interesting. This is like, it's a federation. It's an EFED, in a way. But your results are based on actual predictions, based on actual events that happen. So, like this one was TakeOver 2017 Chicago.
And then after that, the rest was history.
The rest was history. How did you first come across this stuff? How did you first find out about it? Because you were on the first episode too, right? Like, there's only a few of us that have been on every single show. I think technically you did miss one or two in there about a year or two ago.
I mean, story-wise, I did, but I still predicted. I was fake BeerMe.
That's right. So you've technically never missed a show. That's right.
No.
I think there was 5 or 6 of us that have that since day one.
I can't help it either, because sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'll take, like when I was going through my slide, not like a CT slide, but like a mini slide, I was like, well, maybe I'll just take a break. And then like the next time the pay-per-view ran around, I had to predict. There's just something in me that's like a gambling type of dude, so I have to make picks.
I don't even know if it's a gambling thing for me, but it's once you've missed it, you can't take that back. And for me, that's a thing. Like when events happen or records happen, that's a big deal. Like the stuff with WrestleMania being taped in front of nobody a month prior, that's happened. Not every WrestleMania is live. Like that. Like once you've done it, it's done. With this, if I skip one, it's like I can't take that back. The string is there, and I would always talk about being like the Iron Man as a character, stuff like that as well. Like I've never missed one. I'll show up no matter what. That's part of the character. Well, if you're gone, you can't do that. So you need a good reason, etc., etc., etc. There's been multiple times, not even during like the slide, but just moments where it was like this would be a good exit depending how this goes, just for a bit. Like to just be like, because wrestling's fun with comebacks too, right? Like that's part of the fun too. Like, oh God, he's back. That's part of it. I've not done that because I've not had a moment like that. So, but there's been stuff. I still have ideas always for that kind of stuff. As far as I'm concerned with JRPL storylines, nothing's ever thrown away. It's just put away. You can bring it back later, right? So,
right.
With TakeOver though, with this event, I'm gonna actually scroll down, and you can see there's not that much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I might have miscounted 16 matches. That's it. And when you do that math, that's like 30 people-ish, a couple tags in there, 40 max. We've got like 60 or so now, and there has been up and down with that, and a lot of those original 40 aren't here anymore. So it might not be as like little growth as you might think. There actually has been a fair bit with different names and stuff. Like it's a different 40 now of that 60 we have. So, but what do you remember of the first episode, BeerMe? Because I just scrolled through the webpage briefly. I don't remember a lot, but I remember my first match. I thought anyway. I misremembered the first main event even, for crying out loud. What do you remember of the first?
Yeah, Tom and Peanut. I did remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the main event, or it was or was it the open? Because it was either the opening or the main event, because that was like Peanut's open challenge.
Yeah.
I remember I faced Super Hippo.
Part of his original run, yeah, the very first.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was the first one to lose to him, so there was that. I'm trying to remember. I think Matt and Lee tied.
Well, I
Maybe?
think so. Yeah, I think there was a few ties.
I think Woody and Bomber tied, and they both had perfect hearts.
Yeah, I think this is early on. This was before we really stepped in with. I say we, I mean Bomber. With bonus questions in order to avoid ties. Because I mean, it's easy to say a card's predictable, but you never know what someone will do. Like we've seen it in the almost 4 years now, BeerMe, when someone's like, "Man, this card's so obvious. It's Finn Balor can't lose," and you're looking at it going, "He's obviously going to lose," and that's just the mentality people have seeing this stuff. So I think it's easy, but you think it's easy for different reasons.
Right.
So, I mean, but sometimes you pull a GMSG and Bastion and you tie outright completely with every single pick being the same. Wasn't a perfect card, it was identical. So that happens. Bonus questions is supposed to change that variable. So.
And ties still happen.
Ties still happen. I've got 3 to my record. 3.
Yeah, I've got like 4 or 5.
But let's go. Let's work our way through the very first match. When you hear this, you're going to be like, "What?" It was Tino defeating Bastion.
Damn.
That was the first ever match. That's right there.
Man.
He beat him by 2. Tino beat Bastion. That's literally main eventers right now. So there you go, guys. The very first match ever includes a former world champion and the King of the Ring, possible future world champion. And I'll argue, as far as how our Hall of Fame goes, 2 future Hall of Famers. Easy. So, yeah. That was match number 1. Next up was, Super Hippo defeating BeerMeJesus. Let's say it again, 2 more Hall of Famers. You're the greatest world champion we've had, and he's the greatest... Oh, my brain. Was he Top Lock? What was the run he had? Yeah, it was Top Lock. I keep thinking he was Road Warrior because of the run, because that's how that goes, but no, it was Top Lock, yeah.
He had it for like 8 straight months or something.
Yeah.
But it was like insane. It was like the summer, it was like the year of Hippo, because he did win Superstar of the Year.
Yeah. He, it was actually my 3rd match when I faced him. He gave me my first ever loss. And I remember that match was pretty much the winner of that will go into the Top Lock tournament. It wasn't official or anything. Like, it wasn't like this is a qualifier for the tournament. But it was, I mean, with that win, he went in. And I had 2 wins, too. If I got 3 wins, I would have gone in, right? So, you know, things can change. Destiny, you never know. So, next up, Crimson Cyborg defeated Captain Charisma with a score of 7-5.
Oh, wow.
The highest possible points is right there. It is 27.
What a score. What a match.
Yeah, 7-5. Cyborg has been here and there. He's kind of, unfortunately, vanished again. He strikes when you never expect it, which is something I do like. But Captain Charisma, very consistent. He's been there. Like these are all names that have been here, and aside from Cyborg, who literally left again earlier this year, have been here all the way through. Next up, Peanut is my bitch 69 defeated Luke. Not Luke Ray.
Yep.
Luke. Luke is no longer here. I said that, and he's gone.
No. He went like 0-6, and then he was gone.
I think so. He's got one of the literal worst records there is as far as for wins and losses. I can't blame him. You lose like that, you know what? I'd rather you stick around, but when you're looking at it coming in on a new venture and you're losing out of the gate, I really can't fault it. But he never came back. Like, he's always welcome, but I think literally someone does have the Fiend for their avatar, so that Bray Wyatt's kind of out of there. But
yeah.
Next up, though, we have John, the first Hall of Famer, for reference, defeating CM Carlito.
First world champ, too.
First world champ, first Hall of Famer. First 2-time world champ, I believe, too. John defeated CM Carlito. And, again, Carlito's always been there. John, he really didn't...
Summer of John.
Yeah, John just kind of left. Like, he stepped away, right? Like,
yeah.
Which is probably the best thing, because he can always come back and, you know, get inducted to the Hall of Fame and stuff like that. But, yeah, he's out, so... TB666, another guy who is gone. I had a few matches with him. He was always a tough opponent. He beat Wookiee by a point in their debuts. TB was tough. I think he had a called shot and went for a revenge match, and unfortunately lost it. So that's a bit tough. That's only so much you can do there, but. Next up, here we go. Modstep versus Ash versus Crofty in a no contest. Modstep and Ash went 25 and 25. And yeah, this was, as the write-up even says, it was the show of no contests, as you figure things out. But Crofty actually would go on to become the first ever champion of any kind in the JRPL.
UV champ.
Yep. Is the
beat Tagaby in the finals.
The first ever ultraviolent champion is Crofty. If Crofty didn't leave, you'd definitely have someone a little more stable for someone like a Hall of Fame or things like that. It's a noteworthy achievement at this point, but I just kind of want Crofty back because of all the awesome Bailey stuff that you could use now for promos. And
Oh, right, dude. Yeah, that would be fire.
It was the Smiley Bailey avatar. I want the Angry Bailey avatar. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Next up, Broken Nerd defeated Alaska Brown. There's a callback. Broken Nerd, before anybody really knew what that guy could do.
Before he was the Terminator.
Before he was Terminator, even though the picture is kind of him, but it's just that's how the thing works. Versus Alaska Brown, who, I mean, this is what you know. Broken Nerd has run roughshod over the past while. Alaska Brown literally kind of came out into his own this summer. That's how long it took. But never too late, right? Like I said, it's always a possibility. Oh yes, the GMSG, your friend and mine, I hate him. Went to a no contest, which I love, against Matt Zion. Obviously,
it was the GMSG and Zion.
Yeah, obviously Matt is no longer with Jabba Radio. There was it's over. Not my issue to speak on. Bomber did a video about it, talking about it. There was disagreements. It was on Twitter. It's regretful, but understandable. Don't want to force anything that you don't want to do. So he's not part of the JRPL. I did win a tag title with him, so I always have fond memories. But GMSG, I am 0-10 against him, and I hate his guts. Anyway, I joke. I get along with him good. It's just Tagaby. Right. Tagaby defeated the Green Machine in their debuts.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one. Tagaby kind of left as well. Well, not kind of. He did. Which is regretful.
Yeah, Warden put him in a coma.
He did. Speaking of Warden, Legit Boss defeated Banksy and the Warden in a triple threat match. And Banksy had the year of Banksy. He was the man who should have done everything. He still managed to pull it off, and it was awesome. TLC 11th hour type of thing. Boss obviously just came back. Boss is a main eventer, obviously, here. And the Warden, we last saw him eyeing your belt at the Hall of Fame. He was in a coma for a while. Got better. And, yeah, he's the guy that I drove out, kind of, because I beat him, and then he never quite got better again. So, yeah, I'll take credit for that. Sorry.
Not a good night for original Solution members right there.
No, but the later Solution member, a Boss, was able to pull it off, so...
Right, and Tino won, so, yeah.
We do have Buck and 5 and Lee going to a no contest. We have Woody and Bomber going to a no contest. So, like you were saying, there's some no contests involved here. Buck and Lee, again, both active now. Woody, I would have said isn't, but literally came back on the last show. Again, world champion. Bomber, both of them. I could make an argument for all four of those being Hall of Fame. Lee quite doesn't have the pedigree, so he's easily one you could discount, but he's literally been a driving force for some of the creative stuff you've seen as far as for his promos and his character. So as far as for that, yeah, kudos to that. Buck, part of Team No Chance, ridiculously accomplished with that, more so than probably anybody thought back then. Bomber, obviously, the greatest UV champion there's ever been. Road Warrior champion as well, and big-time main events, big-time player, no question there, TOD. And then Woody, like I said, cashed in Money in the Bank, did a ridiculous run with the World Championship there. Main event
GM.
Bomber, and was GM, exactly. So I could see all those as main event, and not for nothing, Boss and Warden as well. Banksy, I mean, he left. It gets tricky there, and he never quite achieved the goals, but you never know. You never know. I mean, I see Green Machine. I think him too, but you got to win. You got to win the stuff to be there. So My first match. This was one that Bomber literally made. I remember to this day because it was Brett and Owen. Scott versus Cam Popplestone. I won. I won my first match, and I got a big head. And I talked about it, and I went 2-0, and then I lost to Hippo.
It's okay to lose to that guy.
That's what it ended up being. It was like, man, like I wanted to go on a run, on a streak. It eventually became a thing where it's like, oh, okay, everybody loses to Hippo. He does things that you don't expect. He like the Finn Balor line. It's like an extraordinary man doing extraordinary things. Yeah, he kind of did.
Right.
Like that shouldn't have happened by rights. So yeah. And then, yeah, it was a no contest. Peanut versus Tom, the first ever main event.
Dang.
Now, that match will be a rematch at Clash of Champions 2020, over 3 years later.
I like that.
That's really cool. I kind of wish it was Tino and Bastion, but we obviously can't do that because Bastion's a little busy going after your world title because it was the first match. But what do you, looking back on that and those matchups, like it's kind of funny how there's some very, very consistent people still today in there. A few notable names gone, but otherwise the majority are still here, still alive, still kicking. I mean, like Gords isn't on here or anything, and I mean Lee died but got better. So, what do you remember about this period way back?
Man, I remember. I don't really, honestly, I don't really remember a lot.
Same. I'll be honest. I'll save you there. I don't remember a lot either. The first episode. Do you remember that Asuka pinned both Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross, so bonus points for whoever picked either? Do you remember the shenanigans? And then Akam and Razor both pulled down the tag titles, so points were awarded to whoever picked any Author of Pain member. Yeah, that was the beginning of the oh no, the wording type stuff as well. So we've gotten better over the years. We try to proof it, but then stuff still happens, and we end up things like, what constitutes a super kick? Was that actually a spear? And yeah, it happens, so it gets tricky. But the write-up, very basic. It is a takeover. This was kind of finding the footing and working things out. Interesting thing is there's points mentioned, like the point total of 27. Like that's a little too kayfabe. That's gone now behind the curtain. But overall, it got a legit boss over as the only one to win a triple threat. It got stuff with Banksy and Warden losing, Crofty as well. So it's interesting to see what happened there and where we've come since. Obviously, massive props to Bomber for doing this for the first 3 years. And then with the booking team that's come in since to keep it running, keep it going. It's insane. It's ridiculous to be a part of this. It's such a blast. And now here we are with Clash of Champions 2020. And BeerMe, looking back on that, where you lost your first match and I won my first, and then had the slumps I've had, and you've had the solution high you've had. We're both champions going into this event.
It's true. It's been a wild freaking ride.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Now, the official song is Heart of a Champion by Nelly. Yes, an older song. We do use those ones as well. JRPL 100, #. But let's go through our picks, BeerMe. Let's look at, obviously, the championship match is up first. We have BeerMeJesus, that's you, defending your world championship against King Bastion, the King of the Ring, using his called shot at Immortality to literally pick any match he wants, and all he's picked is that the Money in the Bank winner or Stella cannot cash in during the match. And again, we've talked about this at length, but we interpret that to mean that he can't affect the match. He can't add himself like a day prior or anything, right? He could obviously do something prior to the match, and then he's defending, or, he loses and you're defending, or after to whoever has won the match. So, I look at this, I look at things, I look at the way that this match is going. I do think that you're going to win and retain, but I don't know if you're going to leave champion. And I don't say that with any inside information. I never know. I literally find out if Orstella cashed in, just like everybody else does when the results go up. Only CT ever truly knows, and he doesn't tell anybody because that's more fun. That said, you've been champ for almost a year, and it's Bastion in your face, raring to go. He's not nipping at your heels. He's literally there staring you down.
I really want to make it a year.
Yeah. I'm hopeful. I'm excited for this match. It is, as I've said, the greatest World Championship match we've ever had. It is the number 1 and 2 faces, and by virtue, I believe it is the number 1 and 2 overall in the JRPL at the 100th show for the world title. King of the Ring, the best there is, because, you lost the tournament, and he's the most viable number 1 contender. Considering all of that, he literally won a tournament of who's the best here and challenges you. who
Stakes
is
don't
the
get
best
any higher
here.
than that.
I mean, come on, you can't. You gotta be kidding me. Like it doesn't get much better than that. So
Think about it. We've had 100. This is JRPL. This is gonna be JRPL 100. That's 100 shows. We've never faced one-on-one. First time ever.
that's also good. I love that. The fact that that's also the case is just really, really cool. It's yeah. This is a can't miss match. This is that's. I mean, we're done. We've hyped it. We're good. We can go. But we actually have more. But bear me. You've heard my prediction. What do you think? I know you want to make it a year, but what do you think?
I think. Well, I obviously can't pick against myself, so I will predict myself to win.
Yeah.
It will be Razor close. Razor.
Ha.
But yeah, I predict that I will win, and I think Orstella will cash in, but I don't know who will win. How about this way? Either between me or Bastion, I think that Orstella's going to cash in after the match, and then, well, I don't know what will happen then. I most likely think Orstella would walk out as champion.
I honestly think no matter what happens, if he cashes in, he's taking the title.
Yeah.
I kind of hope he doesn't.
Like, you know, it's going to be kind of crazy if we tie, me and Bastion, and then he cashes in somehow because the match never ends. So it's like, well, you know, have to write it how the match ends. But
I do like the idea of him just not cashing in here. I'd rather that because that means it's a celebration of the best we have or the best we have, right? Like it's the celebration moment there, but it's wrestling. That's how it works, right? It's the pinnacle moment. It's the best
and then
in the
company.
It is Edge. And then suddenly
Edge.
The ultimate opportunist, exactly.
Yeah,
with the Stone Collective of RGX, I could easily see it. Like that's how
if I was him, this would be where I would do it if I was him.
Because no one
I
will
would
forget.
steal it all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the main event.
Yeah.
That
would get kayfabe moment of the year. Let me tell you right there.
Easy. I think so. Easy. I have high hopes for that for match of the year personally. I just realized I am writing it. So I can tell you I am aiming high for that. I want to make the best match ever out of that. Honestly.
That's
That I mean,
down with that.
Aim high, right? So you know how hype I've been for this match for the past couple of weeks. That's I'm
hyped too.
My belief on that. So that's what I want to see out of it.
I'm nervous too.
Now the other champions match. There's no title being defended. It is the Simple Creatures, Modstep and Chappers, the JRPL Tag Team Champions, in the Clash of Champions match facing JRPL Top Lock Champion Pain and myself, JRPL Ultraviolent Champion Scott. I don't like Pain, he doesn't like me, and the Creatures are the best tag team we have. This is a big, big problem.
Will you be able to coexist?
And as I always say, does it matter?
Right.
I think so, because I've had trouble with those guys one-on-one, and Pain, I don't believe, has ever really faced them. I know Pain and I haven't faced. We have no real history. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really hard. I know there's a certain level of almost fatigue with the idea of a match with myself, anyway, involving people who don't get along. I know that's part of the Survivor Series stuff that happened and things back and forth. So I am working a fine line on that one, but at the same time, I hate Pain. I hate him. He hurt Red, and I have not gotten that revenge, and here he is, and I have to work with him against the best team we have. If we have a good showing, I'll be happy. By rights, we should not win this. Let's be honest. It's the Tag Team Champions. More than anything, I'm thrilled that the Tag Champs are in the Clash of Champions match. Because they've never been in that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like it was. I think it was World and Top Lock one year, and then World Top Lock and UV. So I like the fact that this is it. This is the one that's really got them involved, and it's theirs to lose. It is. I can't bet against myself, but I've learned from you, Beer Me. It's the Creatures on a main show. This is gonna be a problem.
I know, but you got Pain.
I do.
That's
Pain's awesome. Let's pull that. Yeah. Let's step out of the character aspect. Pain's awesome. He's the best chance I have at this. So, yeah. I hope I don't go on the record with another 0-1 as a tag team. So let's, There
Maybe
you go.
he'll hit they all fall in the end on one of the creatures, and
Yeah,
it'll be over.
yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, the creatures are probably gonna win, but of course I'm pulling for myself. So
Yeah, like this is
right,
tough because like I don't bet against the creatures, but man, Payne's been on a roll, and you know it's and you're the UV champ. I mean, man, I could see you guys pulling out some heelish tactics.
oh yeah, I've got tag experience too. Two-time tag champ, remember? So
But it's two heel teams, so I can see
uh-huh.
the other team pulling out heel tactics.
Yeah,
I don't know who's gonna. I'm gonna pick the creatures, but I would not be shocked at all if you guys pulled out the dub.
it's almost like the two heels outdo the tag team heels.
Yeah, because
Okay.
usually it's the two guys. Because you know, like in regular wrestling, it's the two guys that don't get along are the ones that usually win the titles.
Usually, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. So usually, so I mean, maybe I could see it. I could see you guys winning.
Oh, okay. Well, here's one that I think. I'm sorry, Alpha Dog, but this is a foregone conclusion. Alpha Dog is defending against Spring Tigress. It's the Road Warrior
Oh
Championship.
man,
That's Tigress's belt. I feel
she
it.
went through hell to get to
I
this
feel it.
spot.
That's her belt. Alpha Dog, if it was anybody else, I'd probably be picking you. But Tigress, it's like, yeah, this is kind of like unfinished business from before when she had it last time. I feel like this is her belt to take. What do you think?
Man, this is Alpha Dog's been on such a roll though. Like
True,
it's hard because Alpha Dog's been on such a roll, and then Tigress just won a battle royal.
Yeah. Well,
And
he
beat
rebounded big
somebody,
too,
yeah.
right? Like he really rebounded well.
hmm
I'm still picking Tigress, but
yeah, man, Alpha Dog's got Renaissance on his side.
that's true.
I'll. My heart says Tigress, and I don't know what my head says. Screw it. I'll pick Tigress too. I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go for the feel good moment. Yeah.
Well, that's the feel good moment, and now we're into the tournament of death, which is the entire opposite of feel good type things. It is the War at Waterloo death match, Bomber versus Buck and Five, tournament of death round 2. It's a water park.
That's great.
I think Buck is in trouble.
I-
I was iffy going into it, but now I'm like, I think Bombers is going to obliterate Buck and Five. It's going to be messy.
Man, it's tough because I feel like Buck and Five's like the big underdog to win this whole thing now
Mhm.
with all the people that are left. And they've been on a roll and they've been on quite a roll too. And yeah, Bomber's kind of back, and he's been on a roll.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick Bomber too.
I can't bet against
But-
him in this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of his thing. But honestly, if Buck and Five won, I wouldn't be shocked because they have been on a roll as well.
I honestly can never truly bet against Buck or TNC for that matter. I just feel
Yeah,
like
because whenever you do, they win.
yeah, they
It's-
win
it's-
big,
you
which
can't-
is
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I really feel that Buck is not going to be able to adapt to Bomber. Bomber is going to be coming into this angry. Bomber is going to come into this looking to make a point, I think, going into. Because there are 3 triple threats. The winners of these go to a final into one. Sorry, there are 3 matches. The winners of these 3 go into a triple threat. Forgive me. So whoever wins this is literally 1 match away from the final.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm that crazy person that looks and like if Buck wins this, I could see Buck going all the way, but I think Bomber's got this one.
Yeah.
Next up though is the TikTok of death match, tournament death round 4, round 2. Sorry, tournament death 4, round 2. Broken Nerd versus Cian Blair. Kian Blair. Kian, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, new guy, as I've called you before. Broken Nerd's gonna destroy you in the antique store. Period. Like I don't see Blair winning this. He's in over his head. I love the fact that he's here. I love the fact that he's got this shot, and I'd love to see him make the most of it. I just don't see it happening against Nerd. I've been there in 2 different deathmatch, hardcore, etc. stipulations with him. I know what he can do. This is going to be you're giving him a building worth of stuff. This is going to be a bad time for new guy Blair.
You know what? I'm gonna pick Blair.
Really?
I'm gonna you know what? Just because he's a new guy. You know, you don't really know a lot about. We don't really know a lot about this guy.
True.
And I, you know what? I want to see a new guy go kind of far, so I'm gonna pick him to beat Nerd. Plus, Nerd, like I said, Nerd did beat me, but he did lose his title, so he's kind of. I don't know. Did he win his last match? I can't remember, but he's been a little bit up. Well, he obviously won his last match because in the Tournament of Death. Yeah. Okay. He has been on kind of a roll then.
He literally has been on a roll, except when he lost to me, and I took his title. He went to, I think there was no contest in there somewhere. He had trouble with Orstella, and then this. That's it. So he's been on a roll.
I'm gonna go for the upset. I'm gonna do it. I don't know why.
You want it. You're in the mood for it. You want to see Buck and Blair getting there, don't you?
I kind of do.
And I know who you want for the third then, because that's a Metal Shop of Horrors deathmatch. It's a factory. It's Tournament of Death 4, Round 2. Jace Villain 13 versus JJ Rocky. Everybody, for those who have been paying attention, you know that Beer Me and I love JJ. That's my pick, but I kind of see Beer Me looking at Buck and Blair and Jace to somehow get over JJ, but at the same time.
Doesn't it seem like the Metal Shop is kind of like would be like Jace's thing? Like it just seemed it kind of just I don't know. Jace's been in a lot of death matches.
Yeah,
you know, like kind of. I kind of feel like that's his wheelhouse.
I did suggest also though the Broken Nerd Terminator Factory. Yeah, but I like the idea that it's almost like not who you'd expect because that's almost more creative. What do you get out of that? I like that.
Right.
I came around to that pretty quick. So I think. I mean, I've learned from you. I can't bet against JJ at this point.
It's true. I'd be happy with either guy winning. I'm gonna pick JJ as well though.
So we've got Bomber or Buck, Nerd or Blair, and JJ. Now again, I think that's saying though, Jace, we're not really betting against fully. Like if Jace won, it wouldn't shock either of us. I think, but that would be big because that would be really the first one-on-one loss he's had aside from the one he had to you, the world champion. So nobody's quite cracked that puzzle yet. So next up we do have the JRPL Top Lock Contendership #1 contender ladder match. Captain Charisma, the Green Machine, and Redhead 12. You announced this match last week, Bear Me, and I feel that Red has a shot here. I just won a ladder match. I gave her some tips. She knows what to do. Green, though, this could be literally what he's been looking for a long, long time.
It's kind of got to be his time, right? Like, thinking about it, I got to pick him. It's got to be his time.
If not for the fact that it was Redhead, I would want Green Machine to win. Fully.
Right.
I want him to get that shot, and I want him to win that belt. But it's Redhead, and I want her to get her belt back. And it's against Pain, who I'm dealing with. So, yeah, I'm picking Red. And sorry, Captain Charisma, no offense, but I've got 2 others ahead of you. So,
right.
Speaking of, GMSG can go die in a fire as he faces the Midnight Rider. I know well enough not to bet against GMSG, but I know he's had trouble with, forgive me, Lee, some of the lower talent. Which Lee, I mean, he's inconsistent. He shows up here and there. That's where you end up. He's not because he's bad. He's just not here a lot. He's a brother to me, and I would back him all day, any day. But that's also GMSG, who's beaten me 10 times. So I kind of, if I was actually betting points, I would say GMSG. But I want Lee to win. I want the Midnight Rider to win this. Obviously, like
I gotta pick the other half of Must See Good Guys. It's just kind of got to.
Yeah, you would.
Right.
Moving on from that crap. We got a hardcore match. Junction versus Jonathan CT Martin. This has come to a head already. CT is looking to end the slide against someone who slid with him, Junction. I mean, let's be honest. CT has to win, right? Right?
I mean, yeah, but wouldn't it be cooler if it kept sliding?
A little bit, not gonna lie.
You're right. Like it just keeps going into like more and more like rage.
That would work. Honestly, that wouldn't be bad. But
Yeah.
I'm picking CT on this one. He's gonna cut loose, and yeah, that's my pick.
I'm gonna pick Junction. I think the slide is gonna continue.
You think he's gonna have
Either way,
a cooler head? He'll be able to prevail over the fury and emotion.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I think either way, if he wins or loses, CT wise, it'll be good. Either way, because
agreed.
there'll
Yeah.
be something to come out of it.
I mean, it won't be good for his record, but
No, but.
And lastly, we do have the rematch of the first ever main event: Tom versus Peanut. I did not look to see if they've ever faced each other again one-on-one. I don't believe they have. It doesn't ring a bell. They might have once again in the 3 years, but this is a rematch of the original JRPL main event, Tom versus Peanut. I kind of want there to be another draw, not gonna lie. And we'll revisit it again in 3 more years for JRPL 200.
Oh God, right?
I think Tom though will get this win. Peanut's a crazy one to bet against. He's really dangerous in that route, but I think Tom's got this one. I think he's going to take it. What do you think?
I think Tom's gonna take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's always it's like he gets on this roll and then he has like, and he just like it's a lot like Green Machine. He goes on this roll. Like you think he's gonna get there. I mean, well, Tom's gotten a few titles too, as well as Green. But like you think they've finally turned the corner to where they're just on that road of smooth sailing. Like they're just gonna do work and then they just falter.
Well, Tom got the titles, but he lost them in every single first defense.
Yeah,
like he's the one guy that's done that. Unfortunately,
right.
He's had 3 different title reigns and lost them all the first time out. Not a great record, but it's a record. Yeah, that. I think Tom's got this one though. I think he's going to turn this one around. But again, it's Peanut. I wouldn't be surprised. But let's all hope we get the repeat of the original with the no contest. I'm kidding. No, draws suck. But and that is the card. There will be more kickoff matches, obviously, featuring many of the names you see below on the screen or to the side of me there. As you put your picks in, you will be on the card. It is this Sunday, which means your deadline is an hour before the kickoff, which has been confirmed. Well, sorry, the event's confirmed at 7 p.m. It's usually an hour-long kickoff, so 6 p.m., meaning 5 p.m. Eastern is your deadline. You can put your picks in Friday night after SmackDown. The page will go at some point there, jobberradio.com. Please make sure you do your predictions correctly. You need to put in your confidence points. I'll say it every time, but it's worth mentioning just to make sure the new guys know. If you feel confident Roman Reigns is going to beat Jey Uso, and there are 8 matches, so you're going to top lock that, which means put your 8-pointer on it. You can't use 8 again anywhere else. You're not 8 points confident. That's your 8-pointer. You might think that Asuka is probably going to beat Zelina Vega. That's your most confident next. That's your 7-pointer, etc., etc. If you're in a stipulation match like a ladder match, you got more to worry about. There are instructions on how to deal with those kind of things on the site as well. There is one confirmed match for the kickoff. It is that Asuka-Vega match, so if you come in by the time the pay-per-view started, there will already be points potentially on the board. So keep that in mind. JobberRadio.com for that. JRPL Official. You can follow along with us in the Discord, where Beer Me and I lose our goddamn minds listening to stuff, especially Impact. That's coming up. Because if I scroll down...
Oh, yeah, it is.
If I scroll down, we got TakeOver October 4th. Yes, there is literally a show a week after this one. Bear me, it's happening again.
It is.
It's happening again. We got the 27th, we got the 4th, and then after that, we're looking at Bound for Glory on Saturday, October 24th. Not to say that they might not sneak more in there. There's Full Gear November 7th, and then yes, Survivor Series will be in there somewhere.
Isn't Hell in a Cell going to be
Around there.
Bound for Glory.
Around there. Originally, it was supposed to be November 1st, I understood. Then it was October 25th, which is the day after Bound for Glory. The original UK takeover in Dublin. They'll probably add one of those as well. We will find out officially what the next card will be for Hell in a Cell during Clash of Champions, I gotta think. We'll get more information for TakeOver. Literally tonight, we're recording this the 23rd of September. During NXT, there's a half hour to go. So who knows what's happened during that, but the event is where it is. Yeah, it's crazy, it's insanity, but it's fun. You want to be part of it. You hear us talking about it. It's a lot of cool stuff. So, yeah, definitely come on. Definitely check it out. Come to JRPL.com. Here's the website again. You can see the countdown over there. You got 3 days, 21 hours, 31 minutes, and 40 seconds as of me saying that, which is probably going to be more like 19 hours by the time you see this if you watch it live when it first posts. Predict. Get in there. You can go from that first show where BeerMe lost to being the world champion defending on the greatest show we have. That's what can happen. Not to everybody. It happened to you and Bastion. Bastion went to a no contest. So the very first match of our greatest ever main event, literally the first show had them lose or draw. You know. Yeah.
Right.
And then whoever wins probably gets cashed on anyway by Orstella, and we go from there. So.
Sure.
How do you feel about Clash of Champions, BeerMe? How do you feel going into this? Do you feel like I'll be able to call you champ next week? Going into
Man, I hope so.
TakeOver? I hope so.
The odds are not in my favor.
I've never not called you champ going into one of these.
I know it's gonna be weird, right? Like
Yeah.
if and when I do lose, you're gonna be like, well, I don't really know what to call you now. No.
You're just that guy.
Right?
Well, I mean,
Former world champ.
I mean, when someone's been champ, you can still call him champ. Like people call Ric Flair champ still, so maybe there's that. You know, maybe. You know, just to be like
champ
you
of the
know,
people. You know,
nice and accommodating. I don't know.
right?
I'm a heel.
I don't know. You think I'm gonna make it out?
I think you're going to beat Bastion, but I'm honestly like 49 to 51 on that. I could see like
Right.
Bastion is easily your greatest threat, and I will say this: he would be anybody's greatest threat. He's literally the best there is, thanks to that tournament. But you're the best world champion we've had, so it's like Austin Rock WrestleMania 17. It really is like, oh, who's going to win this? If anyone was going to beat you, it'd be him. But that's the kind of thing that makes legends if you're able to turn back that. So,
Right.
I'm looking forward to that. I hope Orstella doesn't cash in. I would if I was him.
It's too perfect. Yeah, it's too perfect of a moment not to.
Like, I think on it, and it's like, man, would I want to ruin that moment? Yeah, I would, because I'd go down in history for that. You know? I don't think he's going to do it. I've got to... It's at the point... This might have been the plan all along. We've thought about it so much every time to think, oh, he's not going to do it this time. That's when he does. Right? Like, we were thinking SummerSlam, he would do it. We were thinking...
Right.
The
TakeOver.
Immediately afterwards, we thought he would do it. And he hasn't. So now we're like, oh, he's probably not going to. And then he does. That's... I don't know. I don't know, man. I think that you're safe from him for at least this show. That's my prediction. But whether or not you make it past Bastion is a whole different story. One less thing to worry about. Which is the most admirable thing that he as a face can do, is to make it where you don't have to worry about that X factor. It's a straight up one-on-one with the two best there is.
Right.
May the best man win.
That was very nice of him.
He could have made it a ridiculous elimination chamber with time limits and goofies. He could have done anything. He made it one-on-one, keep the money in the bank away. Right? So...
Right. He could have did like, hey, Fart Bucket's going to put the title on the line instead of you, and if I beat him, I get the title. Like,
yeah.
You know, like it could have been something like that.
I don't know if we would have allowed that kind of thing. I don't... That's a bit beyond, but, I mean, it's never come up. Let's hope it never does.
Right.
But, yeah, no, I think that you've got the makings of a classic, and then potential makings of a dirty, dirty moment.
It's true.
Well,
either way, it'll be good.
Let's leave it at that.
Stuff.
It's going to be good either way. It's going to be a momentous occasion. Hashtag JRPL 100. Jobber Radio official, JRPL official, JobberRadio.com. All the good stuff there. You can also follow myself. It is at Cyclops Scott on Twitter. Bear me. Blah, 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 blah. Literally is the word I was going to go for. Forget yours. If you want to give your Twitter out, people can follow you there as well.
Yeah, follow me at BeerMeJesus.
BeerMeJesus. Why did I think it was something silly? It's BeerMeJesus. Why would it not? Why wouldn't it be that? Of course it is.
Right.
Why? Yeah. And I'm leaving all that in. That's good. But follow us. Give us comments. Give us ideas for stuff. We're always looking to do more interesting things with Frontline. We do want to have guests on as well. We've mentioned that multiple times. There's a few people in the Discord that we've talked to a lot that would be good to have on there. The booking team, like we said, pull back the curtain a little bit, having CT on there maybe, have different aspects like that. So we're looking into possibilities there. By we, I say I am. BeerMeJesus. This is like, he finds out what we do when I say it, and he sometimes springs a match on me. But it is going to be stuff that we want to do, and I'll run it by you first. Don't worry, BeerMe. You'll know about any guests before we bring them on, because I'll be like, hey, how about this guy? You want to have him on? And you'd be like, no, he's a jerk. And I'll be like, but it's Lee. You know, stuff like that. So,
right.
Yeah. Like, Jim is G. Never. I'll never have him on. God, he's a horrible person.
Right.
But no, honestly, like, some of those guys would be fun to have on there and talk about. It's going to be tricky once we're in the middle of these week-to-week shows, but hopefully middle October we can swing something, just because we'll have a gap between, really, TakeOver and then the end of the month. I don't think they're doing anything until Bound for Glory, and I think we get 2 weeks out of that, so we can do some recap next week, build towards TakeOver, and then we can do a recap of TakeOver, and then build towards Bound for Glory. God, Bound for Glory, and potentially Hell in a Cell, and probably Full Gear while we're at it, because they're all going to be a week to week to week.
Yeah.
And then Survivor Series and TakeOver come after that, and it's getting insane. Bear me, it's getting crazy again. Just when we thought it was quiet, it's getting crazy. But let's celebrate JRPL 100. Let's have a good one, champ. Hopefully not for the last time. And
I know, right?
And I think I will leave it with that, unless you have anything else you'd like to say to the people as the world champion for the last time, maybe, but hopefully not.
Just good luck, everybody. Get your picks in, and good luck, King.
There's your face world champion. Your heel ultraviolet champion says screw off and you can leave me alone, and I'm glad there's no fans in the arena and you can all go to hell. But me, pull back the curtain, everybody join in. JobberRadio.com, JRPL official, all that fun stuff. We will see you there this Sunday for Clash of Champions. Get your picks in Friday night at the earliest and before 5 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Thanks again. See you next time.